too dark in here? Let me see. Thumbs up if you have your Foursquare ready to go and your pencil. And your eyes are on me. All right, so this week we are starting our new unit on economics. Everybody say economics.
Economics.
One more time. Economics.
Economics.
And economics is just the study of our economy. We should all be at rest. Economics is the study of our economy. And with our economics lesson, we're going to focus our attention on 4 types of productive resources. Everybody say productive.
Productive.
Everybody say productive. One more time.
Productive.
When we're productive, that means we're busy. That means we're doing things. That means we are moving. If you're not productive, that means you're probably sitting down, watching TV. At home on the weekends, raise your hand if you've ever had to clean up on Saturday morning. Your mom said, come on, let's get up, let's clean up our room. That means you are being productive on Saturday morning. But if you are watching cartoons all morning, raise your hand if you're being productive. You're not being productive. So we're going to talk about the 4 types of productive resources. And a resource is just something that we use. Some of the resources may be available to us for an extended period of time, and some of the resources only may be available for a short period of time, and we have to use them conservatively, or meaning we can't waste them. Next slide. So our standard tells us SS3E1, and that E stands for economics. And E stands for economics. So the standard says that the student will describe the 4 types of productive resources, and that red word is our verb, and it tells us what we're going to do. That red word says we are going to describe, we're going to explain, we're going to tell, we're going to show the 4 types of productive resources. And those 4 types are natural. Everybody repeat after me. Natural.
Natural.
Human.
Human.
Capital.
Capital.
And entrepreneurship. Let's break that word up.
Entrepreneurship. Neurship.
So let's put it all together. Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship.
All right, so natural is just our land. The land, the things that we use on a regular basis. Human resources are just labor. Point to yourself. Say, I am a human.
I am a human.
And labor just means you are doing the work. Capital. Everybody say capital?
Capital.
Capital goods are the tools that we use, and we'll get more into those definitions. And entrepreneurship is someone that creates goods and creates services. Someone that is in business for themselves. And we look at our yellow words, our tier 2 words, and those are the ones that we are going to use in context for this lesson. Next slide. All right, so at the end, you're going to have a lesson assessment, and you're going to take these pictures or these words, and you're going to put them in the correct category. We're going to focus our attention only on these 3 resources. That last one, which was entrepreneurship, but we're only going to focus on natural resources, capital resources, and human resources. So you're going to have to pay very, very close attention so that when you get your lesson assessment, you're going to be able to know which one goes in which category. Next slide. All right, so let's look at our standard vocabulary. Productive resources. If we can look at this picture, we can tell here's our human resources. There's our capital good. That's our tool that he's using. And then the cotton is in the natural. Everybody say natural.
Natural.
Nature. When we think of natural resources, we think of nature. And when we think of nature, we're going outside. We could touch the ground. We could touch the trees. It's anything that's in the nature. So that cotton and the sunlight produces the cotton that's needed to make that final product, which is a t-shirt. So here's the human resources. He's going to help make it and put it together. This is the final product. He's going to use this tool to help him make the final product. And along with this tool, he's going to use nature to produce the cotton to help him produce that final product. So we want to make sure we understand how all of those resources tie together. Now, our entrepreneur, if you ever notice anyone that's selling something on the street, maybe raise your hand if you ever seen anyone selling fruit. That person is an entrepreneur because they are selling something for themselves. This young girl is an entrepreneur because she has her own business. She's selling
Lemonade.
and every glass of lemonade costs 25 cents. So natural resources, anything that's in nature, and remember, anything that's natural, nature, outside, we have sand, we have our air, we have trees, we have everything that's a part of the earth is considered our natural resource. And now we have our capital resources, and those are just our tools. What does the need to produce something or a good or a service. So the human are the people that are doing all the work, and we think of work, we think of labor. Think of, everybody say work.
Work.
Work is tier 1. When we think of the word labor, it's a synonym for work. Everybody say labor.
Labor.
So right now, if I say, let's get to work, or let's begin to labor, it's the same thing. We're laboring over our assignment. We are going to work. So these people are going to work, and they're going to use these capital resources or these tools to produce something. Next slide. All right, so our lesson vocabulary, I kind of went ahead of myself, and I wanted you to see the pictures so that we can tie it into our definitions with our Chem model. So we've already looked at the memory cue, but let's go back in and look at those keywords. So when we think of production, it's something being carried out in a sequence. Everybody say sequence. When we think of sequence, it means one after the
Other.
sequence, successive, chronological, everything is in order, a production. Resources is what natural, human, and capital resources are needed in the production process. In order to produce something, we need people, we need nature to help us out, and we need those tools or the capital resources. And now we look at natural resources, the materials that come from
Nature.
and the capital resources are those goods or tools that I can use to help me to do a job. And our human resources are the people. It's all about the people that help us to perform a job or service. They begin to labor. Human resources are labor. And entrepreneurship, someone that owns their own business. They are their own boss. They don't have to answer to anyone because they have taken a risk. Just like that young girl, she gets to make all the lemonade, she sells it, and do you think she has to share, raise your hand if she has to share that money with anyone? It's her business, so she gets to keep all of the money. Next slide. All right, so these are going to be our guided questions that I want to ask, and we want to make sure we answer them. What is a resource? What are the 4 types of productive resources? And what is an entrepreneur? Those are things we want to start thinking about, and towards the end of the lesson, we should be able to answer those questions. Next slide. All right, so we're going to take a real quick look at this video.
Goods or services require productive resources to produce those goods or services. These resources include factories, equipment, land, raw materials, and employees. Economists classify these productive resources into 4 groups: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship.
And just like I mentioned, they're going to use that word interchangeably, or meaning they're going to switch it out. Labor just means humans, the people. When we think of labor, that means the workers. Who is going to be doing all the work? So labor just means the people that are doing the work. And land is our natural resource.
Land resources include not just property, but also natural resources that are used in the production process, such as forests, mineral or oil deposits, and water resources. Labor resources include all the physical and mental skills of workers that are available to produce goods and services. Capital resources include goods that aid in producing goods and services, such as tools, supplies, machinery, storage, or transportation. Keep in mind that money is not a capital resource. Entrepreneurship is somewhat less tangible. It refers to the ability to take risks in order to start new businesses, to introduce new products, to improve management techniques, and to improve processes. Let's consider the example of a car wash. The car wash has many resources that have been assembled to make the business work. They have an owner, workers, a location, sponges, hoses, and water. See if you can categorize these resources, dragging each one to the area for land, labor, capital, or entrepreneurship.
So based on the car wash, we want to be able to take a look at which ones we can put in each category. Thumbs up if you have your four square already drawn. All right, so I'm going to put my natural resources here. And from the information I learned about the car wash and the business, I'm going to list each one in order. All right, so I have natural resources, my capital resources, human resources, as well as entrepreneurship. All right, so the very first one I'm going to see. So for the first category, which is land or natural resources, I'm going to pull over water. Let me see if I'm correct.
Correct. The supply of water is considered a land resource.
All right, so I'm going to list land because I know that water comes from the land. So in your box, you should have water written. So now let's look at the next one, labor. Hover over the human. Not the owner.
Incorrect. Try again.
The owner is someone that owns the business. Remember, entrepreneurship means that I am the owner of the business. Thank you to those that they're sitting straight up and they're paying very close attention. We know that the entrepreneur is someone that has taken a risk. They are in business for themselves. They own their business. So the person that's the worker, he has a bucket. Let's put that over towards labor.
Correct. The workers contribute their skills to the car wash in the form of labor.
So I'm going to put workers, and they're also called employees. Everybody say employees.
Employees.
Ms. Pritchett is an employee of Harper Elementary. I am a laborer, or I am a worker at Harper. All right, let's look at the next one, capital. And capital just tells us there are tools, What tools am I going to need in order to do my job? I work at the car wash. I'm the human worker. I need the land or the water to help me do my job. But what other tools do I need? Let's drag over that sponge because that's a tool that'll help me do my job.
Correct. The sponges are tools that help the car wash provide its service.
I'm going to write in sponge. You all are considered workers in this classroom, and you have a pencil that you use. That's your capital resource. It's a tool that helps you do your job as a student. Thumbs up if you have water, sponge, and worker.